The hospital seemed ordinary at first until I stumbled upon a hidden ward. What I saw there, humanity in the most unlikely places, would stay with me forever. I began to write everything down, knowing the world might never hear these stories. So settle in, dear listener, maybe with a cup of chamomile steaming soft on your nightstand, or just the glow of your screen easing you toward dreams. This is Clara Beaumont's diary, penned in the shadow of Berlin's ruins. Spring of 1945, An American Nurse's Quiet Confessions, inked by candlelight amid the rubble, and the Red Cross flags flapping like weary prayers. Let these words wrap around you like a worn blanket worm, a little threadbare, but full of heart. We'll walk these halls together, feel the chill in the corridors, hear the echoes of lives mending. Good evening or good night, wherever you are. April 1st, 1945. Oh, diary, if you could see this city, Berlin. They call it the heart of the Reich once, but now it's a broken rib cage. All jagged edges and hollows where the bombs punched through. We rolled in yesterday with the 2nd Medical Battalion, trucks groaning over potholes that swallow wheels whole. The air thick with brick dust and that acrid tongue of cordite that never quite washes out. I keep coughing up grit, like the war is lodged in my lungs permanent-like. Mama would say, Clara, honey, drink some honey lemon tea, but here, the closest thing's powdered lemon from a scratchin', sour as regret. I'm Clara Beaumont, 26, from a little speck on the map called Elmwood. Illinois cornfields stretching forever. Church bells on Sundays calling folks to potlucks with jello salads, wobbling like they got secrets. Back home, I was the girl with the steady hands, helping at the local clinic, dreaming of big city nursing like they showed in those Life magazine spreads. Then the Japs hit Pearl, and before I knew it, I was shipping out with the Army Nurse Corps' blue cape over my whites, kit bags slung heavy with sulfa and scissors. You're an angel with a stethoscope, the recruiter said. Angels don't get seasick for 3 weeks straight, I thought, but here I am anyway, in the occupied zone, where the front's blurred like watercolor in rain. The hospital's an old schoolhouse, half caved from a raid last month, patched with corrugated tin that rattles in the wind like loose teeth. Red Cross banners flap from the eaves, and the stars and stripes waves lazy beside the swastika flags. They're hauling down strange bedfellows, ain't they? We've got cheese stacked in the main ward, boys from Ohio and Texas nursing shrapnel souvenirs, their laughs forced over the morphine haze. But the civilians, Lord, the civilians. Women with eyes like saucers, kids clutching rag dolls, old men muttering in German that sounds like gravel under boots. We're treating him all orders from Eisenhower himself. No enemies here, just the wounded. Feels right, but walking these halls, it's like tiptoeing through a graveyard where the ghosts ain't done dying yet. Today was intake madness. Dawn broke gray as dishwater, and I was up before the roosters, if any survived the blitz. Splashed my face from a bucket, cold water shocking the sleep away, then into the starched whites that itch something fierce. Coffee's a memory, just chicory brew that tastes like burnt regret, but it kicks the fog. Lila, my bunkmate from Chicago, with her pin curls and a mouth quicker than a switchblade, she nudged me over the mess tins. Clara, you look like you wrestled a Luftwaffe pilot. That shell-shock keep you up? I nodded vague, 'cause yeah, the dreams hit hard last night. Home fires glowing, then exploding into orange blooms. But I shook it off, grabbed my tray bandages rolled tight as cinnamon sticks. That little vial of aspirin that's gold rarer than a quiet hour. By noon, the ambulances were lining up, horns bleating like lost sheep. I trudged a sergeant from the 1st Infantry, leg mangled bad, but spirit high called me sweetheart, and begged for a smoke. One drag nurse, and I'll sing you Yankee Doodle and Pig Latin, made me chuckle, slipping him a Chesterfield instead of the rules. Then the civilians filtered in, quiet as mice, a baker's wife with burns from a stove tip over in the panic, her apron still singed, smelling of yeast and fear. Danke, she whispered, eyes down, as I daubed the salve cool as mint on favored skin. Her boy, maybe 8, clung to her skirt, thumb in mouth, staring at my dog tags like they were magic. I slipped him a Hershey bar from my pocket contraband, but what harm? His eyes lit like Christmas bulbs, and for a second, the rubble outside faded. Afternoon dragged with a steady drip of IVs and the low hum of prayers and mixed tongues. Doc Harlan, tall as a beanpole from Vermont, with a mustache like a broom, bristle-barked orders soft, his hands gentle on the sutures. Belmont, check the east wing. Rumors of stragglers. East wing's the spooky part. Diary doors barred, windows boarded like they got skeletons dancing behind. I chalked it up to war jitters, but as I padded down the hall, boots squeaking on linoleum cracked like old china, a draft whispered through a cool breath carrying whispers. German, English, something softer, stopped me cold. Peered through a loose plank. Shadows moving, a lantern's glow flickering like fireflies in a jar. Heart thumped like a bass drum. What in tarnation? Pulled back quick, pulse racing, but that whisper. It sounded like mercy, not malice. Wrote this down before chow spam and spuds mashed to glue, 'cause if it's nothing, it's my imagination running wild. If it's something, well, tomorrow I'll peek closer. Night's falling now, blackout curtains drawn tight. The city's hum a distant growl. Good night, diary. Hold these secrets close. April 2nd. Fog today. Diarrhea pea super rolling off the spree like the river's got secrets to hide. Woke to it pressing the windows, turning the world milky. M. Lila cursing as she stubbed her toe on the cot leg. Clara, this place is a haunted house without the fun ghosts and no candy. Laughed it off, but truth. That east wing drafts gnawing at me like an itch under plaster. Breakfast was oatmeal lumpy as clay, sweetened with a dream of sugar, and we huddled over it, trading tailies from stateside, her Windy City winters, my Illinois summers where the fireflies danced till dewfall. Ward rounds started early, the air heavy with carbolic soap, and the faint yeasty whiff of bandages fresh from boil. Checked on the baker's wife first, Frau Keller. She said her name was voice soft as dandelion fluff. Her burns were scabbing nice, pink as new roses, and she managed to smile when I fluffed her pillow. You're a kind Fräulein. Like the sisters in the old stories, her boy, Hans, was coloring with a nub of pencil on the back of a ration wrapper stick figures of tanks turning to birds midair. For you, he said, shy, handing it over. Tucked it in my pocket, the paper crinkling like a promise. Made me think of my nephew back home, drawing cowboys on barnwood. Danke schön, I echoed, mangling the words, but his grin split wide. Then the GIS, Private O'Malley from Boston, arm in a sling, regaling the tent with Fenway yarns, how Ted Williams could hit a curve like it owed him money. Nurse Clara, you gotta see a Sox game someday. Hot dogs and hollerin' beats the sauerkraut symphony. Chuckled, adjusting his drip, the fluid beating clear on the tube like morning dew. But under the banter, eyes shadowed letters from sweethearts tucked under pillows, creased from rereads. She says, wait for me, he confided low when the others dozed. But what if the wait's too long? Squeezed his good hand, calloused from bayonets, not bats. Then write her the stars, Amaui. They'll guide you home. Lunch was a hurried affair crackers and cheese that tasted of wax, wolfed standing by the supply cart. Doc Harlan caught me then, eyebrow arched like a question mark. Beaumont, you look peaked. That east wing check anything? Hesitated, the fog outside mirroring my muddle. Just drafts, sir, and voices, maybe. He nodded slow, mustache twitching. Keep it quiet. Cities crawling with eyes all-eyed, Axis holdouts, you name it. But if it's trouble, you holler. His tone was gruff, but eyes kind, like a uncle spotting rain. Filed it away, but afternoon brought me back. Between stitching a corporal's, gashes neat rows like quilting gone wrong, and doling aspirin to a cluster of shell-shocked Tommies. I slipped to the east wing. Hallway dim, lit by a single bulb swinging lazy, casting shadows long as accusations. That loose plank again eased it aside gentle, like parting curtains at a play. And there oh, diary. A room, not a ward exactly, but close cots lined soft under blankets darned with care, lanterns hung low casting gold pools. Figures moving, a nurse in gray, not our whites, bending over a man in rag civilian, gaunt as winter birch, but wait. His uniform scraps underneath, felgrau gray, Wehrmacht eagle faint on the cuff, enemy. And beside him, a GI private, bandage same, sharing a tin cup of water. Their murmurs, low German, clipped, English drawled, bridging like old friends. Froze there, breath shallow as a held prayer. No alarms, no guards, just quiet care, hands steady across lines drawn in blood. The nurse looked up sharp, eyes blue as cornflowers, and I ducked back, heart hammering like a locomotive. Slipped away quiet, boots soft on the floor, mind spinning wild. A hidden word, treating them all, no badges asked. Suspense coiled tight in my gut, like waiting for thunder after lightning. Back to main duties, I moved on autopilot cleaning bedpans that steamed metallic, folding linens crisp as fresh snow but thoughts tangled. Who runs it? Why hide? And that compassion. It glowed soft as the lanterns, cutting the fog like a beacon. Evening fell early, blackout swallowing the sun, and we gathered in the mess for what passed as supper stew thin as promises, potatoes floating like islands. Lila chattered about a letter from her beau, all kisses and ink, but I have heard, scribbling this by stub candle later, wax dripping hot on the page. The city's alive outside distant pops like firecrackers, maybe stragglers or just echoes. But in here, that hidden glow lingers in my eyes. Tomorrow, I'll watch closer, maybe even ask. For now, sleep tugs, heavy as the sandbags at the doors. Good night, diary. Dream gentle. April 3rd. Rain today. Diary a steady powder on the tin roof, like fingers drumming impatience, turning the courtyards to mirrors cracked with debris. Woke to it whispering secrets. Lila already up, humming White Christmas off key to chase the chill. Bing Crosby'd weep Clara, but it keeps the blues at bay. Splashed water rain fed now, tasting of slate and into the routine. Whites down stiff, cap pinned straight, the brassard on my arm a shield of red and white. Breakfast huddled under the eaves, biscuits hard as hockey pucks, but the coffee? Hot, at least, steaming curls that carried me through morning rounds. Frau Keller was sitting up, knitting with yarn scavenged from God knows scarf stripes of red and blue, colors bleeding like flags at truce. For my haunts, she said, needles clicking rhythmic as a metronome. Watched her a spell, the way her fingers moved sure despite the tremble, and thought of Mama's Afghans draped over the sofa, warm against drafts. It's beautiful, I told her, and meant it. Hans peeked from behind, munching apple from our stores, tart as autumn, juice dribbling chin. Will you teach me? He asked in broken English, eyes big. Nodded, promising a lesson later, heart swelling soft. The G's were rowdier today. Rain-keeping M. Pend O'Malley leading a poker game with buttons for chips, laughter barking sharp over the downpour. Fold or bluff, nurse? Your face gives nothing away, poker pro, or what? Dealt in, losing my last button to a full house, but the ribbing felt like family, cutting the isolation. One kid, though Corporal Ellis from Alabama, barely 20, face pale as milk under freckles, pulled me aside post-rounds. Miss Clara, I saw things out there, in the push. Folks running, then not. His voice cracked, hands twisting the sheet. Shell shock, clear as day, eyes darting like trapped birds. Sat with him then, rain drumming backdrop letting him spill, the blur of uniforms melting into crowds, a child's cry cut short by stray fire. Am I broken? He whispered, shook my head fierce. Mending, Alice, like all of us. Here's a trick, breathe with the rain. In, out, steady. He tried, chest rising slow, and for a minute, peace settled like dust after a breeze. Lunch snatched quick bread heels and jam from liberated stores. Sticky sweet on the tongue, then duty called to the pharmacy nook, counting morphine syrettes that gleam silver as fish scales. Mind wandered east, though, to that hidden glow. Couldn't shake it. Afternoon lull brought opportunity. Doc Harlan off on a supply run, Lila covering triage. Slipped down the hall quiet, rain masking my steps, heart thumping a tattoo. The plank again eased it, peaked. The ward unfolded like a secret garden, more cots now. Shadows of souls under blankets. 2G is chatting low with a German lieutenant. His iron cross dulled but worn proud, sharing cigarettes that curled smoke lazy. The nurse, Elsa, her badge said, local I reckon, moved between, spooning broth, steaming herbal, her murmurs soothing in that melodic tongue. One scene stopped me cold. An old man, civilian through and through, beard white as swan down, holding a young enemy's hand, POW maybe, uniform stripped to undershirt as fever shook him. Shi Zhang, the elder crooned, wiping brow with a cloth damp as mercy. The boy couldn't be more'n 18, muttered thanks in fractured English, tears tracking dust-streaked cheeks. No sights there, diary just hands clasped across the chasm, compassion blooming quiet as crocuses in cracked concrete. Pulled back, knees weak, suspense twisting like bindweed. Who's funding this? Army brass in on it? Or rogue hearts defying orders? Jotted notes frantic on a scrap smells of chamomile tea, murmurs of psalms in Latin before rejoining the flow. Supper was stew again, thickened with carrots, scavenged from a bond market, and we traded shifts tailies. Lila's run in with a surly major demanding extra blankets, my vague, quiet day. But inside, the hidden word hummed, a counterpoint to the rain's lament. Later, by lantern in our nook cot sagging under wool blankets, that smell of lanolin and longing, I expanded the Ellis's breath. Hans's drawing, that clasped hand. Reflections crowd, war draws lines, but mercy erases them soft. What if this hidden place is the real front fighting for souls, not soil? Sleep comes reluctant, rain lulling like a cradle song. Tomorrow, deeper. April 4th. Sun teased through today, diary shafts slanting gold over the rubble piles, turning twisted rebar to sculptures half beautiful. Woke renewed, the rains wash, leaving air crisp as laundered sheets. Birds brave little things, chirping from blasted trees like they forgot the fear. Lila and I shared a smoke pilfered from supplies, leaning on the back stoop, the tobacco sharp on the tongue, curling thoughts loose. Clara, you got that faraway look, sweetheart pining? Teased her back, just missing your snoring, the truth. The hidden words pulling me like a tide. Morning bright with bustle, fresh linens aired on lines strung between pillars, snapping white in the breeze that carried lilac wild, stubborn from some overlooked garden. Started with Frau Keller, her scarf done, draped over Hans like a cape of colors. A night now, I joked, and he posed heroic, slaying imaginary dragons with a spoon. She watched, eye soft. You bring light for Wayne Clara in dark times. Words landed heavy, stirring my own shadows nights I'd wake in England barracks, sirens wailing, wondering if home's porch lights still burned for me. We all do, I said, checking her dressings, the skin healing smooth as forgiveness. O'Malley was up and at M, sling off for therapy, arm flexing tentative under my guidance. Muscles protesting like old friends reunited awkward. Feels like wrestling a greased pig, nurse. Grinned, spotting him through the pain. Stretches slow as taffy pull, sweat beating brow. Think of Fenway crowd roaring for that home run. He nodded, pushing harder, and by end, a fist pump weak but triumphant. Oh, you, Clara. First round's on me in Boston. Promise hung sweet, a thread to peace. Alice joined us then, quieter, but the rain breath trick stuck, he demonstrated. Chest even, eyes clearer. Helped last night, miss? Dreamt of the Gulf instead of guns. Shared a story to build on. My grandpa's farm. Thunderstorms rolling like applause. How we'd count lightning cracks from the porch swing. Storms pass, Ellis. Leave rainbows if you're lucky. His smile flickered, fragile as moth wing, but real. Afternoon shifted to civilians heavy as seamstress with a twisted ankle from rubble scramble. Her chatter of pre-war Berlin, cafes humming waltzes, Tiergarten blooms in spring. Paradise lost, she sighed, but as I splinted, her hand patted mine. You rebuild it, yeah? With care. That pull grew insistent, hidden word calling like a half-remembered song. Slipped away mid-shift, hall empty save for a stray cat padding silent, eyes green as envy. Plank aside, the room breathed fuller now, air scented with boiled oats and that herbal tang chamomile again, soothing as a lullaby. Elsa at work, changing a GA's dressing, her touch deft, while a German sergeant face scarred like cracked pottery read aloud from a tattered book, voice rolling poetic, the wounded leaning enwrapped. One patient, a boyish POW with allied tags pinned awkward, sketched on a scrap faces, not fighters, a mother's profile, soft-lined. For memory, he explained to no one, pencil whispering. But the Heartstopper, two old foes, a Yank captain and a Luftwaffe pilot, heads bent over a chessboard salvaged from debris pieces carved hasty from soap bars. Check, the German said, accent thick but grin wide, and the captain laughed, deep from the belly. Sneaky bastard, your move next war. No next war in that laugh. Diary just now, bored between a bridge of ebony and ivory. Watch till my shift break ended, slipping notes. The book's title Gerda, I think Soap King's crown lopsided. Suspense simmers. Elsa spotted me this time, eyes locking brief, a nod subtle as smoke. Invitation? Warning? Back to duties, hands shaking slight as I rolled gauze, mind alight. Supper's bully beef and biscuits, chewed mechanical, Lila's tailies washing over. Tonight's entry swells, the chess, the sketch, Ellis's rainbow, reflections, lines blur in lantern light. Compassion's the true uniform. Wind howls outside, but here warmth holds. Sleep diary. Tomorrow, perhaps a door opens. April 5th. Overcast again, diary skies bruised purple like overripe plums. Threatening more rain, but holding off, a tease. Woke to the low rumble of trucks supply convoy rumbling in, crates thumping like heartbeats. Lila and I pitched an unloading, backs aching under boxes of bandages and tins that clanged promise of normalcy. Feels like Christmas in April, she huffed, wiping brow and amid the dust. A crate of chocolate bars peaked, contraband joy. Browns flowed smoother today, the sun's absence making lamps glow earlier, casting halos on faces. Frau Keller and Hans were a duo now, him helping with her therapy walks tiny hand in hers, steps tentative on the duckboards laid over cracks. See, Moody, like dancing? His giggle bubbled, light as soda fizz, and she twirled him gentle, scarf cape fluttering. Joined in, holding her elbow steady, the three of us a small parade amid the cots. You're naturals, I said, and her thanks came quiet. Family, even for a moment. Stirred deep my own kin, letters yellowing in my kit, words of hurry home. Clara girl. O'Malley roped Ellis into poker, the game gentler now, stakes raisins from rations. Kid, life's a bluff, play it bold. Ellis folded bad hands but smiled more, the shell shock's grip loosening like a knot-tugged patient. Shared a raisin win with me later, for the rain lady, and we talked dreams, his Gulf sunsets, pinks and golds bleeding sea. Gonna fish there again, miss? Base big as boats. Nodded, painting my own. Elmwood fairs, cotton candy clouds, carousel laughter spinning eternal. Save me a seat on that merry-go-round. Bonded us, those shared tomorrows. Afternoon brought a wave of new admit stragglers from the flanks, a mix of allied and locals caught in crossfire echoes. Triaged a Dutch resistance fighter, papers suspect, but eyes honest, his arm grazed shallow. Vrijheid, he muttered freedom, I learned later, and as I cleaned, he sketched my cap on his cast, quick lines capturing the angle just so. An artist? Laugh soft. Only survivors, Fräulein? His tale trickled. Underground presses in Amsterdam, whispers in cellars turning to roars. Inspired, made me ponder our own hidden whispers, which led me back, inevitable as dusk. East wing called, the hall cooler now, drafts carrying that chamomile comfort. Plank up. The ward pulsed gentle, fuller still cots near 20, a tapestry of bandages and borrowed pajamas. Elsa directed a volunteer gray-haired frau with a limp, stirring a pot of soup that steamed savory, potatoes and leeks scavenged pure. Patients mingled, a British Tommy teaching a Berlin teen card tricks, sleights of hand making quarters vanish, gasps delighted. Abracadabra, Fritz, your turn. But the core. Diary the axe that etched still deep. Elsa with the POW boy from yesterday. Now fever broke, reading him letters from his ma in Ohio, translating slow so a German neighbor could chime in with her own. Seaver Miss Ditch, the neighbor said. She misses you, and the boy's nod was tear bright. Nearby, the old man from before cradled a G.I.'s head during nightmare thrash, humming a lullaby old as the Rhine, words weaving calm. And the chess duo? Board reset, but now with spectators. A circle of bandaged souls calling moves like sages at Delphi. Laughter rippled, soft waves eroding walls. Elsa caught me full this time, stepping to the doorframe, voice low as mist. You see now, Schwester? No flags here. American, her English fled to Berlin pre-war, stayed for kin. Hidden for safety brass on both sides twitchy, but healing ... It don't ask papers. Invited me in tentative and I crossed air warmer. Scents layering, soup's earthiness, pipe tobacco faint from a corner storyteller. Sat with the artist Dutch, his sketch growing a word mural, faces blended, no borders. Suspense eased to awe. This place, a sanctuary stitched from scraps. Jotted later, post-shift supper's hash warmed over sterno, flickering blue every detail. The lullaby's melody, the card vanished poof. Reflections multiply, and ruins we rebuild with threads of kindness. War's chaos, but here, order and compassion. Stars peak tonight, first in days, good rest, diary. April 6th, Easter Sunday, diary irony thick as incense, celebrating rebirth amid the bombed-out chapels. Woke to bells tolling faint from a steeple stub, the sound carrying over rubble like a dove's coo. Lila and I donned our best white starched extra. A sprig of lilac pinned croaked and joined the makeshift service in the courtyard. Chaplain Hayes and his khakis, Bible open, voice rising clear. He is risen, he proclaimed, and we echoed, a chorus ragged but true. G is and locals mingled under the cross rigged from bed frames. Post-prayer, the word soft eggs dyed hasty with onion skins, shared in baskets woven from newsprint. Frau Keller pressed one on me, red as dawn. For new life, Clara. Hans hunted more, giggling under cots, emerging triumphant with a blue speckled prize. O'Malley organized an egg roll down the hall, hard-boiled orbs tumbling lopsided, cheers erupting for the farthest fetch. Goal, Ellis hollered, his laugh free now, shell shock receding like tide. But the hidden ward, it bloomed Easter true. Slipped in mid-morning, Elsa greeting with bread warm, east rising heavenly. The room transformed, wildflowers in tins, daisies defiant from cracks fringing cots, petals white as hope. Patients exchanged small gifts, the chess captain carving a wooden cross for the pilot, knife whittling careful. The POW boy gifting his ma's letter to the German teen, read it for strength. Stories flowed like wine, the Dutch artist unveiling his mural sketch, figures linked hand to hand, a chain unbroken. Sat among M, helping Elsa with dressings touches light, words bridging. Does it hurt? To a Wehrmacht vet, his nod grateful. West now with friends, one tail gripped, an old Berliner, baker like Keller's kin, recounting pre-war Easter's parades with brass bands, children in bonnets chasing eggs painted gold. Peace tasted sweet then, he said, voice quaver, but eyes on the young GI beside him sparked. Sweeter now, perhaps, the boy nodded, sharing his own. Southern church picnics, fried chicken steaming, hymns lifting like kites. Laughter wove through, subtle suspense in the sharing, would words heal deeper than salve? Jotted voraciously later, post-chow ham slices thin, but festive with canned peaches dripping gold, every petal, every carve. Reflections, resurrection ain't just stone rolled. Its heart's unburdened. Dusk paints the ruins rose, peace settling soft. Amen, diary. April 7th. Workaday returned, diary skies clearing to blue vast as promises, but duties piling like storm clouds. Woke to reveille bugle, tinny over speakers and the grind, linens to launder, pots to scour steaming. Lila griped good-natured, back to the salt mines, but her wink said we thrived on it. Rounds intimate today, Frau Keller walking unaided, Hans trailing like a duckling, her hand brushing mine thanks. You mended more than skin, Clara. O'Malley therapy advance, arm swinging loose, planning his socks pitch out. Gonna throw heat, nurse watched the papers. Ellis sketched his own now gulf waves, curling foam white talent unearthed in quiet. For the wall, maybe, he mused, and I envisioned, a gallery of hopes plastering the gray. New admit Tugtart, a young mother, refugee from the east, babe at breast, her cough wrecking deep. Named her Liesel, rocking the bundle as I auscultated lungs clearing slow of sulfa. He sleeps through bombs, she marveled, tiny fists curled. Cooed to him, scent of milk and newness balm, thinking of sister's babes back home, fat-cheeked in bassinets. The hidden ward drew me thrice to daybreak, stolen like candy. First glimpse, also teaching the artist Dutch to brew tea proper, leaves unfurling in pot like secrets blooming. He laughed at his spill. Amsterdam coffees, stronger, no finesse. Shared sips, bitter warm, stories of canals misreaved. Second, the chess circle evolved to checkers, bottle caps for men, the Luftwaffe pilot crowing victory, Yank conceding with a clap. Rematch at the Rhine. Third deepest, the old baker with Liesel's boy no. Wait, a different child. Orphaned ward waif singing cradle songs, voice creaky but tender, the mother listening rapt, tears silent. Music men's, Elsa whispered to me, joining the circle now familiar. Suspense lingers faint, whispers of patrols sniffing close, but here. Invincible bubble. Supper's macaroni twisty, cheese powdered but melting true. And Lila's tales of Chicago speakeasies dance distraction. Diary fills pages, the babes coo, the checkers clack, the songs lilt. Reflections deepen, compassion's currency richer than gold reserves. Moon sails high, silvering the spree, sweet dreams. April 8th, heat wave hint, diary air thickening sticky, pollen dusting the breeze like gold powder from unseen hives. Woke sweaty, caught damp, Lila fanning with a magazine page-old yank, pinups faded. Cooler in the ward, let's haunt it. Morning buzzed. Frau Keller discharged light duty, hands waving from the truck bed, scarf knotted pirate style. Visit the farm, he hollered and promise made, heart light. O'Malley led calisthenics for the fit, arms pumping rhythmic, Ellis joining tentative, sweat beating like jewels. Team Beaumont, O'Malley dubbed, and laughter rolled, bonding us tighter. Civilian influx, an engineer with crushed fingers from beam lift, his tales of U-Bahn tunnels, pre-blitz trains thundering underground, echoes like heartbeats. Splinted careful, his gratitude, hands for building again, inspired sketches in my mind bridges not bombed, but built. Hidden word midday magnet, entered bold now, Elsa nodding welcome. Air hummed with activity volunteers, darning socks and hoops, needles flashing silver, chatter multilingual tapestry. Sat with the POW, his sketch finished. Word portrait, Elsa Central, arms wide as world. You belong, he said, inking my name corner Clara, loops elegant, touch deep. Then the peak moment building, a circle for stories, prompted by the old man. Each turn, the German sergeant's hill farm, throats bleeding dawn. The British Tommy's London fogs, fish and chips wrapping newsprint hot. Liesl's, the mother's village fates, maples twining green. My turn came hesitant. Illinois prairies, wind whispering wheat, but their nods wove me in. Suspense, a distant siren wail, but ignored Taily stronger. Evening wound down with soup communal, leeks tender, and Lila's prodding. Spill, ghost hunter, but held close. Diary devours ink, the portrait's detail, the maple whirl, the wheat sigh, reflections, stories as salve, healing invisible wounds. Crickets chirp tentative tonight. Rest well. April 9th. Storm brewed fierce, diary clouds boiling black, lightning cracking whips, thunder rolling like artillery ghosts. Woke to flashbang, heart leaping, Lila clutching blanket. Just nature's fireworks, Cheetown style. Word weathered it, shutters barred, lamps steady but moods dipped, shadows long. Checked O'Malley, first arm sore from rain's pressure, but spirits high. Joking Mother Nature's got a grudge. Massage gentle, eucalyptus oil sharp, easing knots. Ellis drew storm clouds, but added rainbows faint. Learned that from you, he grinned, and pride swelled. New soul, a violinist, fingers bandaged from shard grab, his case battered but bow intact. Play, I asked post-dressing, and he did notes trembling air, melancholy sweet as honeyed tea. GIs gathered, civilians too, the music bridging, tears silent tracks. Hidden word refuge, storm raged outside, but inside calm core. Elsa lit extra lanterns, glow multiplying, and the circle reformed stories of tempests past. The Luftwaffe pilots, sky's dogfought, clouds cumulus fortresses. The bakers, floods swelling the odor, neighbors sandbagging shoulder to shoulder. My contribution, Midwest twisters, funnels dancing dirt devils, families in cellars singing hymns. Laughter amid peals, the violinist joining impromptu, strings weeping joy. But climax crept, midway, a knock-sharp guard. Elsa paled, but it was the Dutch, bearing bread fresh-baked in hidden oven. Relief washed, but tension taught patrols closer rumors of sweeps. Shared the loaf, crust crackling, innards warm, and in that bite, unity. Watched the clasped hands, the shared nods, emotion peaking, this hidden heart beating defiant. Slipped out as rain eased, notes frantic violins wail, the flood stand, the twister hymn. Supper cold cuts, but warm company Lila's storm yarns from Lake Michigan. Diary overflows, the bread steam, the strings quiver, the unity's pulse. Reflections crest, and storms roar, compassion's whisper thunders. Rainbow arcs now faint. Peace diary. April 10th. Aftermath glow, diary puddles mirroring sky scrubbed clean, air ozone fresh like pressed shirts. Woke to birdsong chorus, Lila humming victory. Rounds radiant, O'Malley Armstrong, planning discharge walks. Ellis's rainbow full spectrum pinned proud. The violinist played rounds roam, notes trailing like perfume, lifting droops. Civilian touch, the engineer's fingers flexing trial, building block towers with Hans's help imagine bridges rising. For tomorrow, he said. Hidden word harvest, flowers post-storm, volunteers plucking more, vases brimming. Elsa confided low. Runs on donations locals, even ex-enemies smuggling meds. Awe deepened. Joined mural paint, Dutch guiding brush my wheat field added, golden strokes. Stories circled, hopes voiced, the sergeant's farmer's talk, the Tommy's pub reunion. Emotion swelled, tears pricking as the pilot gifted his cross-carve to the POW. Carry it home. Suspense peaked subtle. Distant jeeps growl, but Elsa's calm anchored. We endure. Left buoyed, supper stew savory, Lila oblivious bliss. Diary burgeons, the towers tip, the wheat gold, the crosses wait. Reflections, hidden words of heart-true occupation. April 11th, routine deepened, diary sun steady, warmth coaxing green shoots from cracks. Woke content, caught familiar now. Frau Keller's promised visit, a letter instead farm pick, Hans waving, heartful. O'Malley walked perimeter, Ellis sketching paths. Violinist duo with a harmonica GI duo lilting. New, a teacher, spectacles cracked, tales of schoolyards pre-war children chalking hopscotch on cobbles. Lessons in lines, she quipped. Hidden, mural bloomed, figures alive. Elsa's tale, her flight from 38, Kin's letters lifeline. Shared mine, Elmwood's one-room school, slates clacking. Circle closed with song, amazing grace, mangled multilingual, harmony heavenly. No peak drama, but steady build patrol shadows lengthen, yet light holds. Notes, hopscotch grids, graces lift. Reflections, education and empathy. April 12th, breeze playful, diary kites could fly if string found. Woke to laughter, O'Malley leading calisthenics choir, off-key anthems. Alice discharged light, rainbow sketch gift. For your wall mess, violinist bus courtyard, coins toss jest. Teacher's lesson, impromptu class, kids and wounded spelling piece in dust. Joined, finger tracing, PESCE. Hidden zenith, full house, soup supper shared. Pilot confessed fear shot down splash, drift to shore. Captain countered with ditch landing yarn, parallels drawn. My whisper, nursing school's first code, hands studying life. Tears communal, hugs crossing crests. Suspense, jeep halt outside false alarm, baker's kin with eggs. Diary, dust letters, the drifts chill, hands clasp. Reflections, fears shared, lighten loads. April 13th, twilight early, diary clouds herding west, chill nipping. Woke reflective, Lila's snore anchor. O'Malley gone official, letter promise. Sox tickets wait. Alice's spot empty, but echoes linger. Teacher's class grew, alphabet songs lilting. Nude met, librarian, books salvaged, reading aloud grim tales, twisted hopeful. Wolves befriend lambs here. Hidden, book circle formed, pages turning unison. Elsa read Rilke, translations flowing. My turn, little house, prairies calling. Pilot sketched the wolf lamb, peace paw. Jeep rumble, real check, but past. Emotion, the pages rustle, prairies call. Reflections, tales tame wilds. April 14th, full moon teas, diary night silvered, but day golden. Woke to mail call joy home packet, cookies crumbled sweet. Teacher discharged chalk gift. Librarians readings wrapped, Grimm's woods walked. Civilian elder, storyteller pure, myths spun of Rhine maidens mending nets. Hidden, myth night Elsa, a Snibelungen twist, rings shared not stolen. My pioneer lore, wagons circling, songs staving dark. Laughter, then hush as POW recited psalms, voices joining. Suspense crests, patrol lingers, but storyteller's yarn distracts maiden's net catches all. Peak and unity's hum. Diary, nets weave, wagons creak, psalms soar. Reflections, myths mirror mercies. April 15th, VE whispers, diary rumors crackle like radio static, victory tasting close. Woke electric, Lila buzzing. Librarians book swap, pages traded like treasures. Storytellers circle wide, myths multi-tongued. New, dancer, limp from fall, but steps ghosted graceful. Teach? She asked and did waltzes slow and whole, feet finding rhythm. Hidden, dance-born Elsa violin, steps pairing unlikely, pilot and Tommy twirl clumsy, laughter tripping. My hand taken by Dutch, waltz whirling, lines dissolved. Emotion flooded. The spin's dizziness, partner's breath sink. Suspense. Victory news breaks mid-turn, cheers erupt. Tears salt the joy. Climax here, diary in the word's heart. War's end danced in. But oh, the peak. As music swelled, the guard knocked. Not raid, but truce bearer, eyes wide at the sight. This is why we fight, he muttered, joining the circle awkward. Hands linked all, a chain pulsing life. Wept quiet then, release crashing like waves long held. Supper feast eggs, bread, victory toasts with water clear. Lila's sense shift, you glow, Clara, how close? Diary engulfs, waltzes sway, chains grip, guards awe. Reflections, victory not in maps, but moments mended. Moon full witness, peace profound. April 16th. Dawn victorious, diary flags rising new, VE official, bells pealing wild. Woke to cheers, hugs hasty. Wards empty, joyful discharges cascade. Goodbyes teary sweet. Librarians last read. Happy ends. Dancers lamp lighters, steps spring. Hidden ward unveiled, slow brass touring. Jaws slack at the mosaic lives. Elsa's not proud. See? Humanity's ward. Stories shared open now. Pilot's farm invite to all. Reflections cascade. Each face etched. Furrow colors knit. O'Malley's bluff. The clasped hands eternal. War fades. Compassion endures. April 17th. Quiet settling. Diary post-victory hush. Like breath after cry. Woke calm. Lila packing dreams homeward. Final rounds. Echoes of laughter. Empty cots folded. Teacher's chalk. Peace permanent. Hidden. Circle shrinks but bonds eternal letters pledged. Visits vowed. Elsa's hug. You wrote it true, Clara. My diary, yes, pages thick with their lights. Home calls, but heart lingers. Supper simple, toast to tomorrows. April 18th. Departure dawn, diary trucks idling, air expectant. Waves to remnants, promises air-mailed. Berlin recedes, ruins grating tentative, but the hidden word? Carried within, stories sewn deep. Reflections close, an occupation's shadow, we occupied hearts. Mercy, the true liberation. Years on diary elmwood porch, lilac blooming, this tale whispers still. For you, listener, carry a hidden word always. Sweet dreams, world mended. Good night.